Uchenna Devereaux looked around the classroom. Something was wrong. All the usual kids were there. Jimmy, the big boy with the crew cut, had learned to fart to the tune of Happy Birthday over the weekend and was showing his new skill to his pals Jasper and Jonna. They were singing along. Janie was staring out the window, digging into her nose with a finger. No, now 2 fingers. Pi Lu was wearing black eyeshadow, black nail polish, and black lipstick, and she sighed heavily as she read from a book of poetry by Algernon Swinburne called A Ballad of Death. All of this was normal. And yet, there was definitely something wrong. Their teacher, Miss Vole, was trying to teach them about trees. "Do you children know what an oak tree is?" Uchenna sighed. Miss Vole always treated them like they were in kindergarten. "An oak tree is one of the tallest trees here in New Jersey. But on the West Coast, in states like California, Oregon, and Washington..." She paused. "Have you heard of the West Coast, children?" The lesson made Uchenna want to stick a pencil through her ear canal and into her brain. Which meant Elliot, her best friend and an expert on pretty much everything, was probably ready to throw himself through one of the hermetically sealed classroom windows. Uchenna glanced at him. Elliot! That's what was wrong. Where was Elliot? Uchenna swiveled around in her chair, looking for Elliot Eisner, the only other kid in the school who was a member of the incredibly secret Unicorn Rescue Society. What happened to him? Why wasn't he in school? Was he sick? Had there been an accident? Maybe one of their enemies had captured him. Or was it... BAM! The door flew open, knocking 3 framed pictures off the wall. Standing in the doorway was a tall man with a black and white beard, crazy hair, a threadbare tweed suit, and eyebrows that looked like something out of a science experiment.
"Buenos dias, Miss Vole," Professor Fauna exclaimed.
Professor Fauna was the school's social studies teacher. Everyone thought that he was a weirdo, and that he believed in unicorns, and that his office was a torture chamber under the school. Only Uchenna and Elliot knew the truth, that he was definitely a weirdo, that he did believe in unicorns, and that his office under the school was not a torture chamber, but rather the headquarters of the Unicorn Rescue Society.
"I am so sorry to interrupt you," Professor Fauna continued, "but I need to, borrow Elliot and Uchenna for a moment."
His eyes landed on Uchenna, and his face lit up. He whispered to her,
"It's about Bigfoot."
But because she was halfway across the room, his whisper was loud enough for everyone to hear.
"Did you just say it's about Bigfoot?"
Pi Lu demanded, her words dripping with sarcasm. Professor Fauna suddenly straightened up and looked very awkward. Everyone was staring at him.
"Yes," he said at last, "I did say Bigfoot. My big foot. You see, my right foot is bigger than my left. On the bottom of that big foot, I have a horrible wart."
The children all grimaced.
"It is very painful," the professor went on, and infected. So I need Elliot and Uchenna to help me."
Miss Vole looked confused. "Why do you need Elliot and Uchenna to help you with your wart?"
"Right. Well, because..." Professor Fauna stammered. "Because I must drive to the doctor. But I cannot press upon the gas pedal because the wart is so painful. So one of them must do that for me while I drive. And I have another wart on my thumb. So I cannot steer. So one of them will push the gas, and the other will steer, and I will sit in the driver's seat telling them what to do."
Everyone stared at the professor, their mouths hanging open.
"It is no problem," Professor Fauna added. "We have done it before.